everyone to MoveCo Live. My name is Crystal Wozni, aka Coach Chris. Many of you might recognize me from our summer series up on Parliament Hill. We now have this opportunity to offer you some great workouts online through MoveCo Live. So I hope that in the following weeks, you tune into these segments. We will be offering them weekly. So with different coaches, different styles. I think you're definitely going to enjoy it. I know you're definitely going to enjoy it. I want to thank the Green Beaver Company. So without them, this all wouldn't be possible. It is a great Canadian company. They offer some really incredible products. I'm a mom of 3, so I really do appreciate many of their toothpastes and some of their cleaning products. If you haven't checked them out, head over to their website, or you can also head to movecamp.ca and you can get a $10 gift card and 25% discount as well. So you can share that with friends, spread the news. So a huge thank you to them. Today, I'm going to be leading you through a slow tempo workout. So with this workout, some of you might know it as negatives. With that, you will pretty much be using all your body weight, but you might want either a resistance band or some smaller weights for the back fly exercise that we're going to be doing. In that one, heavier weights might be a little too challenging, so get a weight that's appropriate for you. At this point, if you haven't warmed up, I'd ask you to maybe press pause, put on pause, do a little workout, 5-10 minutes, just anything that's gonna warm up your body. Head some jumping jacks. If you wanna do some marching on the spot, maybe up and down the stairs a little bit and then come back, do a little bit of a warm up because I'm not gonna cover that with you today. You can turn on some music in the background as well. So if you want a little bit more background noise, go ahead and take some time to do that right now. Make sure you have some water set aside for you also. It seems like a pretty slow controlled workout, but it's gonna get your heart pumping. Okay, so don't underestimate that. If you're not feeling well, just put it on pause and take a rest at any time. So getting into the workout, I have a sand timer here. I'm gonna be using this for the 60-second count. So I'm just gonna put that down here. Also rubber band, so this is my rubber band that I'm gonna be using when we're doing the flies. So we're gonna start right now with squats. We'll have 5 exercises. We'll be moving from lower body to upper body. So we'll start with squats, push-ups, and then back to lower with lunges, back fly for upper, and then we're gonna go to core. So it really is taking into account all the muscle groups today. Starting with squats, just to coach you through it a little bit, if you haven't been doing them lately, your knees are bothering you, don't push yourself through it. If you wanna use a chair, you can always do a sit stand down to a chair as well. Your feet are gonna be a little bit wider than your hips if that's your comfort zone for today. So hands out in front, you're gonna be sitting back and coming down nice and slow. Knees are gonna follow direction of your toes. Don't do anything that doesn't feel comfortable. You don't have to go all the way down to the ground either. So just set your range for today. Here's the timer, we'll get it. Okay, so feet out, hands out, coming down nice and slow. There we go. We can take a second pause at the bottom and then come right back up. If you want to control that a little bit more, come all the way down, take that pause at the bottom, right back up. Okay, if you can't go all the way down, again, you can stop halfway and then you can come back up. Perfect. And remember to breathe. So in these, you don't want to hold your breath. You want to continue to breathe and to give your muscles oxygen. If you feel your muscles warming up a little bit, that means you're doing it right. There we go. Good, so remember to keep the abs nice and strong, controlling the movement down, right back up. Go, almost done, last one. And coming back up, perfect. Now for push-ups, you can choose to do them on the ground, you can choose to do them from a chair, or even up on a couch if you have something near. So I'm gonna flip this over, get to the push-ups. Okay, don't be afraid to push yourself a little harder if it's too easy for you. So really slow it down, especially at the bottom, coming all the way down that full range. So elbows at 90 degrees, holding it here if you can hold it a little bit longer, and then come back up. So that slow repetition, coming all the way down, right to 90 degrees, push back up. In the push-up, remember, core is super important here. You don't want your hips pressing down towards the ground. You want to protect your back, so you want to keep them nice and strong. Breathing hard in this one today. And right back up. go. Okay, if it starts getting a little too hard, you can drop it down to your knees, finish it off on the floor, and perfect. That's our 60 seconds for the chest. We'll move back down to lower body. Flip the timer here for you. So lower body, we're gonna do the lunge. One foot goes in front, one foot in back. The back foot is gonna be on its toes. As you come down in the lunge, you don't want your knee pressing forward past your toes. Make sure you're keeping your core nice and strong. Upper body should be vertical, so you shouldn't be leaning forward in this one. Back up. If you need to use a chair beside you, you can also use the chair beside you for more stability as well. Hold it down here if you want a little bit more of a challenge, and then come right back up. Moving nice and slow, controlling your tempo, and right back up. So again, if you want to count for 10 seconds on the way down, you can count for 10 seconds on the way down, nice and slow. Take a 2-second pause at the bottom, come back up. If that's too challenging, maybe 4 seconds down, no pause, and then come right back up and take a little recovery at the top. Last one down, and up. Whew, those are burning. Okay, flipping it over. So other side. Now this one, if you had your left foot forward, switch to your right foot. Again, you're on your toes in the back, coming down nice and slow, controlling that movement. Your knee doesn't have to touch the ground, you're just floating here. And then you're gonna come right back up. So again, big breaths. Don't prevent that oxygen from coming in. And right back up. If you're shaking like me right now, it means your muscles are working pretty hard. And up. There you go. If you want a little more of a challenge in this one, if this is too easy, you can also try to do a single-legged squat. So instead of having the support of your back leg, you could just try to do the single-legged as well. Okay, whew, one more. My muscles are really twitching. Down. Hold it here for a second or two, and right back up. There you go, shake it off. All right, grab some water if you want to here. Grab your resistance bands or your weights at this point. So I'm gonna use my resistance band. If you're using free weights, you're going to hinge forward. So you're gonna bend your knees slightly, hinge at the hips, and you wanna be working against gravity in this one. All right, so you're gonna come up quick, and the negative component, so once the muscle's elongating, is on the way down. So you're resisting gravity as you're coming down in this one. You don't have to come all the way down because your muscles are going to be disengaged at that point, but try to come down as slow as you can in that repetition, okay? With the band, your arms are going to be straight out. You're going to be going as wide as you can with it. Then you're going to come in nice and slow. So I'm going to start the timer on this one. Give it a little bit of a rest there. Okay, so choosing your position. Closer in is going to be harder. Wider is going to be a little bit easier. I'm going in a little bit closer to the middle for a little bit more of a challenge. I'm holding it wide, and I'm coming in nice and slow. It's nice controlled movements. Coming in towards the center. Try not to have too much slack in the middle, so you don't want to come to this point. Keep that tension, and then move back out. Okay, so again, strong core here. Knees slightly bent with a nice strong stance. Coming towards the middle. Keep that tension. And then you're going to move right back out. Okay, a few more repetitions here. Big deep breaths. I feel my heart pumping. I don't know about you. Hold it out. Come in nice and slow. Fighting that pull in the band. And we have time for one more. Okay, remember to keep your shoulders down and relaxed. Keep your breath controlled, and we're good there. All right, so flipping you over, coming down to our mat. So you're gonna come down to the mat. This is gonna be a crunch, not a sit up. So your feet are gonna be flat. You're gonna come up as high as you can in your crunch. You're gonna come down with a slow, controlled movement. So this can be 5 seconds, 10 seconds, could be a little bit longer if you want it to be. Come right back up, squeeze, hold that at the top of the contraction, and then come down nice and slow. Remember to breathe, control your breaths. You can exhale up, and then some nice big inhales and exhales as you go down. Nice and slow. Good, coming up. Remember that your feet should stay in contact with the floor. Coming down nice and slow. Perfect. Way up. I think this is going to be our last one here. Hold it a little bit longer if you can. And then down. Nice and slow. There we go. So we finished all 5 exercises. You got a taste of each one of them a little bit there. So we're going to continue, and we're going to go and move through it a little bit faster this time, keeping your repetitions slow, obviously. So we're just going to move from one exercise to the other a little bit quicker. So I'm going to flip this over in 2 seconds. You can grab a little drink of water if you want, take a little rest, catch your breath. If you notice your heart pumping a little bit, that's normal. Okay, so regain that breath. I'm going to flip it over and we're going to get back into our squats. So we're only doing 2 circuits today. You can do 3 or 4 on your own if you have the time to do it. Today, like I said, we only have about 20 minutes together today. Hold it down here for a second or 2. Come right back up. Nice and slow on the way down. It's always a little bit harder right down at 90 degrees. Right there. Back up. Okay, remember to keep your core nice and strong. And on the way up, in this one, I want you to think about contracting your glutes. So a few seconds here, and on the way up, squeeze your glutes nice and strong. And then come back down nice and slow. At the top of this movement, I'm going to squeeze your glutes and squeeze them forward. So make sure that your bum isn't staying back. You actually squeeze them forward and complete the movement at the top. Feeling this one. And good, that's time. All right, shake it off, back to upper body. So you see how we're getting a little bit of active recovery between the 2. Oops. We're getting a little bit of active recovery. So once we've done the lower, we can move to the upper. Let it rest so that it's nice and ready for our lunges coming up next. So back to the push-ups. Coming down nice and slow. Remember to bring it to 90. Hold it for a second or 2 if you can. Push right back up. If you want to be wide with your feet, you can also take on a wider stance. Remember, option to do it on your knees. And remember again, control your breathing. It's really easy to get caught up sometimes and to start breathing a little faster. It's also really hard to talk during these exercises, but you should be able to. Coming down for one more, nice and slow. Hold it for a second or 2, and power back up. Whew, feels good. All right, flipping it over, we're gonna go back to our lunges. So lunges, if you wanna start on the second side that you started with last time, you can start on the second side. Okay, again, keeping your core nice and strong, coming down slow. You should be on your toes. Oh, you can't see my toes here. You should be on your toes in the back, not your heel, to allow for that movement. Hold it down here a second or 2. Come back up. Drop it down nice and slow. Working that stability. Remember, option to use the chair beside you for more stability as well. Back up. Good. Glutes should kick in here too. So on the way up, squeeze them nice and strong. And then come back down nice and slow. Good job, guys. We have time for one more here. Nice and slow. My quads are on fire and shaking. And bring it back up. Okay, go ahead and switch sides. Okay, and I didn't mention, but You want to have a nice division or separation between your feet, so you shouldn't be on a tight rope when you're doing this exercise. Your feet should be offset to the side slightly. Okay, always looking for that 90-degree angle in the front knee. So as you come down, if you feel like your knee is pushing forward, remember to bring it back a little bit and allow your back knee to drop down straight to the ground. Whew, I'm feeling my back leg in this one from the first set. Oh, hold it for a second or two, right back up. Okay, you got this, guys. One more repetition. All the way up, power up. Last one here. Nice and slow. Dig deep here. We're almost done. All right, shake it off a little bit. Okay, coming back to our back flies. So again, grab your free weights or your resistance bands, whatever you chose to use today. Knees should be slightly bent, hinging forward if you're doing the free weights. So you're pressing up against the sky, so you should be resisting gravity. Okay, and this one here, we're just resisting the band. Nice and wide. Your hands don't have to go beyond your body. So stopping just at the side of your body when you open up. Remember to keep the tension in the resistance bands. You don't want too much slack when you're coming to the end of it. Good. So as you come back, again, you can be in line with your body. You don't have to go beyond that point. Okay. Come forward nice and slow. I'm going to give a little more tension in this one, just to finish off. So if you go a little closer, you might notice that you're not going to get as wide. That's perfectly fine. You're still engaging those muscles. So as you come in, it's nice and slow. The range is a little bit shorter, but that's fine. And finish on that point. There you go. Okay, back down to the ground for our last exercise. Okay, into the crunches. Remember again, crunches, not sit-ups. So your feet are flat. Knees should be separated, so make sure they're not coming together. Hands behind the head. Coming all the way up. As high as you can with that contraction. Hold it and then come down nice and slow to the ground. Coming up for that big contraction. Good. Down nice and slow. If you want to have your hands in front, you can also use your hands to come forward and touch the knees. If you just want that contact or that point of reference, come back nice and slow. All the way up. You can also add a weight to this as well. If you have kettlebells, dumbbells at home, you can hold the kettlebell or dumbbell and push that weight up. Even a medicine ball would work. If you're using a resistance band, you can also anchor it behind you and you can pull up as you're coming up into your crunch. Last one here. Go down nice and slow. And there we go. You have finished your workout for today. So that was 60 seconds for each exercise. If you want to repeat this exercise again, you can go off and do another circuit today right away if you want to get into it. If you want to do this in the future, you can do repetitions. So you can do 10 to 15 repetitions per exercise, but just keeping that tempo. So working with a 10 negative with 2-second pause at the bottom, or you can change that up a little bit, 4-second negatives if you want, but have fun with it. Play with it and make it a little bit more of your own style. Day to day might change a little bit too. So again, a huge thank you to the Green Beaver Company and everything that they've been done for all the products that they've provided us with as a Canadian company also. Without them, again, none of this would happen. I want to thank everyone for joining us as well. So remember, this is a weekly workout that's going to continue to happen. So tune in next week, see what other coaches have to offer. And if you love what they have, go and follow them. Follow us at MoveCamp as well. Please share with your friends, and I hope to see you in the future.